Warner Brothers and HBO Max may have just changed the streaming wars forever. How bad do you think it'll be? Let's talk about that right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to Joker's Movie Network. I'm your host Joker, and today we've got some bombshell news dropping directly from Warner Brothers and HBO Max that I think is just going to blow everything else out of the water. 2020 has been a really slow year for a lot of movie news, and this is definitely the most intense movie news that I've gotten at all this year. So earlier today, as of recording this, Thursday, December 3rd, Warner Brothers and HBO Max came out to confirm that their entire slate of movies for 2021 will be going directly to HBO Max and theaters on the same day. And what makes this story such a big deal is that for 2021, that slate consists of 17 movies that are going to be putting directly on HBO Max for no extra charge, just the base subscription fee that you already pay. And it's a pretty big list of movies, so this list includes James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, The Matrix 4, Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong, Space Jam: A New Legacy, Little Things, Judas and the Black Messiah, Tom and Jerry, Mortal Kombat, Those Who Wish Me Dead, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, In the Heights, Reminiscence, Malignant, The Many Saints of Newark, King Richard, and Cry Macho. So it's a pretty big list when you're including stuff like The Suicide Squad, Matrix 4, and especially Dune. That is going to be a big selling point for a lot of people. And since that movie was supposed to come out in December of this year, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are upset now hearing that it's going to be going straight to HBO Max when it releases, with the new theater release date next year. But again, the biggest part about this is that there are no extra fees for this. All you have to do is have a subscription to HBO Max, and when these movies go live on the program, you'll be able to watch them. However, on top of this, HBO Max is also getting rid of their 7-day free trial. So if you want to get access to any of these movies, you're going to have to just go straight for the subscription with no free period at all. And while I do think that is kind of a crappy thing to do, because those 7-day free trials, they really help me out with wondering if I'm actually going to keep a subscription or not. That's how I ended up with my HBO Max subscription. However, since they're going to be losing a lot of money, since yes, it's going into select theaters, but it's not going to every theater, and not every theater is going to be packed, so they're not going to be getting the box office numbers that they would typically get. So they're going to have to attempt to make some of that money back somehow, and all of these subscriptions over a 12-month period, like a whole year's worth of subscription to every person they have, it's going to make their money back in no time at all. And this is where I really think that the streaming war is about to begin. Yes, I did think earlier that it had started when Disney Plus was first announced, because when you got to think, Disney was putting massive franchises into one place. Disney Plus is the only place where you can watch The Simpsons, the only place where you can watch every Marvel movie, Star Wars movies, all of that stuff that was being thrown into Disney Plus. That's a big selling point. And for a price that's like $7 a month, it's, that's a selling point for everybody. It's like, oh, it's totally worth it. But with HBO Max having day and date releases for all of these movies, this is going to put a big fire under Disney Plus and Universal and even Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, because of the competition that they're about to start putting out there. And because of this, you can guarantee that Black Widow is going to go straight to Disney Plus. I don't think it's going to go video on demand like they did with Mulan. They could still try to do that, but I really think they're not going to try to wait to put Black Widow in theaters. They're going to put it straight on Disney Plus to try to combat with HBO Max. And I know, yes, a lot of people are probably thinking, well, Disney Plus has nothing to worry about because they have so many subscribers compared to HBO Max. That may be true, but in the long run, with the amount of time that we don't know when theaters are going to open back up fully and completely everywhere. Yes, there is a theater in my town that is open to smaller crowds, but even then, it is getting barely any business because there's no new movies out there, just playing reruns of old movies from the 80s and 90s right now. So you gotta think, these new movies not coming out, not a lot of revenue going into the companies, they gotta try to do something. And while on the subject of select theaters, that's really interesting because it says right now HBO Max is only available in the United States, and all of these movies are going to be opening in theaters worldwide, everywhere else where they have a better control of the coronavirus right now. Yes, there are some theaters in the United States that will probably be open and take these movies, but it makes me wonder which theaters are going to actually accept this. And all of this right now goes back to a video I did in April, which somehow coincidentally I was wearing the same shirt in that video too, but I'm going to put a link to that down in the description below. That was talking about AMC fighting against Universal when they decided to put Trolls for video on demand, because at the time no theaters were open. And the issue with that story was that AMC was worried about it because they were a part of NATO being the North American Theater Owners Association, and that's basically a big umbrella that holds a lot of theater companies under it, which includes AMC, Cinemark, Landmark, Regal, and several others. And they all have certain rules in this kind of theaters guild that they have to apply by. And one of the biggest rules they have is that these theaters will not screen any movies that are day and date releases, which means if a company, like in this case Warner Brothers, is going to come out and say, we want this movie's release date is, let's say it's Christmas Day, December 25th. December 25th, it is going to go directly to theaters and to streaming services. That is a day and date release, and these theaters will not allow that. So I'm wondering now, with the mass of theaters that are still open and operational, which theaters are going to be able to play these movies if they're going to be day and date releases. And I love that I waited till a little later in the day to make this video because I knew the AMC thing was going to be a problem, and sure enough, just about an hour ago as of recording this, AMC apparently slammed Warner Brothers in a quote about the whole situation, saying, clearly, Warner Media intends to sacrifice a considerable portion of the profitability of its movie studio division and that of its production partners and filmmakers to subsidize its HBO Max startup, who was said by Aaron, who is the president of the AMC theaters, who had the original quote for Universal in that other video I just mentioned. He continues on and he says, as for AMC, we will do all in our power to ensure that Warner does not do so at our expense. We will aggressively pursue economic terms that preserve our business. So again, it's the big issue of day and date releases, and under the NATO umbrella, they're not going to play those movies. So it's shortening the list of theaters that will actually accept these movies, with the exception of whatever international theaters can play them. But at the same time, with the amount of new subscriptions that they are going to be getting because HBO Max got rid of the 7-day free trial, I think it's going to make up for the loss that they're going to get from the theaters in the long run. Because you can pay to go see a movie once, but if you have the subscription and you're just watching other things, you're still paying that same service month after month after month. Especially, with a lot of people with like Netflix who have had Netflix for like 7 or 8 years now at this point. You've been paying that constant subscription fee, which has slowly been going up, and it is not necessarily paying for itself as much as you were just giving this company mass amounts of money, which is how HBO Max and Warner are going to try to make their money back from these 17 films. Will it take a while? Yes. Do I think it'll eventually work? Probably at this rate. Overall, I think this is a crazy story to talk about, and just everything that's going on next year. It makes me excited to have an HBO Max subscription because I'm looking forward to a majority of these movies. And now that I'm going to have a window to be able to see them on HBO Max just the day it comes out, I'm all on board for that. But what do you guys think? Do you like this idea that they're going to be releasing 17 movies for 2021 on HBO Max, day and date releases? Do you think this is going to cause problems for other streaming services such as Disney Plus? And do you think that's going to cause them to put Black Widow out on streaming service as opposed to trying to put it into theaters? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to talk about it. But until you get any other information on Warner Brothers and HBO Max and whether or not other theater companies are going to comment or be affected by this decision, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more movie news videos or if you'd like to see anything else. But until then, and as always, I will see you guys next time.